Senator, I do not actually have an opinion about that per se. I do recognize that constituents.
Counselor, you're an intelligent person. You spent your life in criminal, involved in criminal law. You don't have an opinion? Have you thought about it?
Senator, I'm not sure which specific instances of categories of crime that are not being prosecuted you're referring to.
Sure. How about shoplifting? How about receiving stolen property? How about resisting arrest? How about making criminal threats? Do you think those are all statutes, criminal violations? Do you think it's a very simple question, Counselor. Do you think prosecutors should decide in the name of social justice not to ignore these criminal violations?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Hot News Today, the place where we cut through political fog and get straight to the point. And let me tell you, the moment you're about to watch is exactly why Senator John Kennedy has become one of the most fearless, sharp, and unfiltered voices in Washington. In this clip, you're going to see Kennedy do what they always do best. Ask simple, direct, common-sense questions that any public servant seeking power should be able to answer. But instead of clarity, they get word salad. Instead of transparency, they get evasion. And instead of straight talk, they get the political tap dance we've all grown tired of. Kennedy wasn't rude. Kennedy wasn't unfair. Kennedy just asked, what's wrong with the criminal justice system, and should prosecutors ignore actual crimes if it fits a social justice narrative? Very basic, very straightforward, and yet the nominee absolutely folded. Stick around, because after we play the full clip, I've got a lot to say about what this exchange reveals about the state of our justice system, and why Kennedy's insistence on real answers matters more now than ever. Before we jump in, smash that like, hit subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any of our breakdowns on what's really happening in Congress. All right, let's roll the video.
Counselor, in about 60 seconds, because I only have 5 minutes, could you tell me, in your opinion, what, if anything, is wrong with the criminal justice system in America?
Senator, thank you for that very broad and very important question.
You're welcome.
I understand that there are numerous issues involving the criminal justice system that are the matter of vigorous debate in the public.
Give me two. Give me two things that you think are wrong with our criminal justice system.
Senator, I truly respect the role of policymakers in considering questions like this. It involves so much study of empirical data.
Counselor, I understand that, but give me two things. Maybe you don't think anything's wrong with it, but if you could give me two things you think, in your opinion, are wrong with our criminal justice system.
Senator, in my 12 and a half years of practice in post-conviction law, I have observed instances where individuals were denied fundamental rights that were defined in the Bill of Rights. And I, in many cases, have been able to assist those individuals in seeking vindication.
Okay, let's move on, Counsel. Do you think it's appropriate for a prosecutor to decide not to prosecute certain classes or lines of criminal law violations in the name of social justice?
Senator, I have not had the opportunity to review the legality of challenges to an executive's.
I'm not asking your opinion about the legality. Some of our DAs, you've read about them, I'm sure, in Philadelphia, Los Angeles, for example, other places, have said we are going to ignore criminal statutes passed by the legislature and not prosecute certain lines of cases in the interest of social justice. And I'm asking your opinion about that.
Senator, I do not actually have an opinion about that per se. I do recognize that constituents.
Counselor, you're an intelligent person. You spent your life in criminal, involved in criminal law. You don't have an opinion? Have you thought about it?
Senator, I'm not sure which specific instances of categories of crime that are not being prosecuted you're referring to.
Sure. How about shoplifting? How about receiving stolen property? How about resisting arrest? How about making criminal threats? Do you think those are all statutes, criminal violations? Do you think it's a very simple question, counsel. Do you think prosecutors should decide in the name of social justice not to ignore these criminal violations? Have you thought about it?
Senator, I can't say I have.
You're telling me you've not given any thought to this?
Senator,
None whatsoever. Counselor, I don't believe you. I'm sorry. I just don't believe you. You're a well-read, intelligent person. And I don't know why you won't give me your opinion on this.
Senator, I've focused on specific criminal cases as an advocate, as an appointed counsel.
I know that, but I'm asking your opinion. I'm going to ask it one more time. Do you think prosecutors should ignore criminal violations as per statutes passed by a legislative body in the name of social justice as a matter of class of cases?
All I can say, Senator, is I believe that prosecutors have a very important job.
I agree. Their job is enormously important. I'm just asking you to answer my question. I can't vote for you if you're not going to answer my question because I don't know what position you're going to take if you're on the court.
Thank you, Senator.
Would you answer my question?
I would hope that prosecutors would use all of their tools and resources to make important decisions about issues such as the one that you've raised. And if confirmed, I would review the legality of any challenge.
Counselor, I'm very disappointed. I'm getting word salad here, and I don't even have dressing on it. We both know what I'm talking about. And I think your refusal to answer gives me the answer, with all due respect. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Now that we've watched that entire exchange, let's break this down because Senator Kennedy absolutely exposed something important today. First off, Kennedy asked a question that any judicial nominee, especially one who has spent their entire career in the criminal justice system, should be able to answer in their sleep. What's wrong with the criminal justice system? Not controversial, not tricky, not partisan. A simple question every honest observer could list 10 answers to. But what do we get? Deflection, hedging, academic jargon. Basically, nothing. And that's the issue. When someone wants lifetime judicial power but can't even acknowledge basic problems in the system they've worked in for over a decade, that's not neutrality, that's avoidance. And Kennedy called it out immediately. Then came the real test. Should prosecutors ignore entire categories of crimes in the name of social justice? Kennedy brought up shoplifting, resisting arrest, receiving stolen property, actual crimes passed by elected lawmakers, crimes that real people deal with every day, crimes that destroy businesses and endanger communities. But instead of giving any opinion, not even a mild one, the nominee acted like this topic had never crossed their mind, which, let's be honest, is impossible. Kennedy knew it. Everyone in that room knew it. You and I know it. Kennedy pushed because this wasn't about political philosophy. It was about honesty, judgment, and transparency. And when someone refuses to say whether prosecutors should enforce the law, that's a red flag the size of Louisiana. Kennedy wasn't being hostile. They weren't being dramatic. They were doing exactly what we expect senators to do. Make sure people who want immense judicial authority can answer basic, real-world questions. And then Senator Durbin jumped in with the predictable prosecutorial discretion defense, which totally sidestepped what Kennedy was actually asking. Kennedy wasn't talking about everyday case prioritization. Kennedy was talking about prosecutors who publicly announce they will ignore entire laws. That's not discretion, that's activism. Kennedy fired back, calmly and firmly, and made something very clear. If you want the job, give straight answers. And honestly, that's why so many Americans respect Kennedy. They cut through the nonsense. They ask what real people want asked, and they don't let anyone dodge and weave their way into a lifetime appointment. This exchange didn't make Kennedy look tough. It made Kennedy look responsible. And it made the nominee look like someone who isn't ready for the level of honesty, clarity, and courage the judiciary demands.